Now, Great Debate League, we are back. I'm here with Alex Blocker. He's getting ready for his April 15th, 9 p.m. debate against Jaylon Jones with the premise. Let me get your premise right this time. I got it wrong the last time. I want to make sure I said the right premise. All right. A black political party. That's what we're going to be discussing, Alex. We're asking, your premise is African Americans would have greater political influence if they created their own political party. And you are taking the negative against, from the looks of it, a very qualified and well-spoken opponent. So, Alex, if we could start off, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you took this debate.
Well, first of all, thank you for introducing me. Definitely great to be a part of a great organization. But again, my name is Alex Blocker. I'm a junior, and I go to school in Irmo, South Carolina. But I'm involved in the political process, involved in some organizations like Students with Young Democrats across America, the DSA, NAACP, as well as working with a couple of presidential campaigns and Senate and local campaigns. I do speech and debate for Irmo High School, but outside of the political world, I like to play piano, run track, and just talk to people. So that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome, man. Well, we are very thankful to have you on the show. I know you do a lot of things, and I know you're very busy, so we appreciate your time. So tonight, we just want to get a little background on what's going on with your debate prep, and then I want to go over the rules with you. So what I'll do now, I'll just go over a couple of the most important rules and let you know what to expect on Thursday. Then we'll come back and check in and see how you've been preparing for this debate. All right, so you're arguing the negative, so your opponent will be going first. Again, you've already been provided the definitions in your invite form. We'll do the show. We'll get the show started with opening statements. You'll have 3 minutes to make your opening. All right, as will your opponent. And then we go into the lightning round. Now, in this section, you're both going to cross-examine each other. It's free speech, so it's not like a traditional debate where you have to wait for your turn to speak. In this one, you're allowed to interrupt. You're allowed to speak, but we ask that we speak one person at a time. You let them finish their thought, then you conclude a thought, and we share the space, right? But you get to question your opponent, put the pressure on them, and so forth in that lightning round or the cross-examination. Then we'll go to a question and answer section where our audience will get to participate. You'll get 3 audience questions. You'll get 1.5 minutes to respond to each question, as will your opponent. And then you'll have your closing statement, which is also 3 minutes. So like I told your opponent, I think it's imperative that you prepare for the opening statement and then jot down notes throughout the debate to kind of bring your closing statement together. Those are very important. So rules of engagement. All right, again, we encourage you to thoroughly prepare for the debate. Keep notes on an electronic device or note card. We recommend that you use headphones, or you want to make sure that your microphone is clear and that you can hear to eliminate any echoing. Make sure you have a good lighting. Also, be sensitive to the time constraints. No profanity, racial slurs, threats, or derogatory statements are to be used or made about your opponent. We encourage all our participants attack the argument, not the person. All right. So, yeah, your debate will be scored. Even though this is an unranked debate, you still will get an official score. So we'll check you for fact-based arguments, comprehension or your subject matter expertise, your persuasiveness, how your ability to persuade the audience, your elocution, that's your ability to communicate clearly and confidently, and then also your defense and rebuttals to your opponent's arguments. So you got any questions for me, Alex, as we get ready? Anything? Feel good?
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
Okay, so tell me this, man. How have you been preparing for the debate? What have you been looking at? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't want to give too much away about the substance.
Okay.
But what I will say is that there is an abundance of historical and recent evidence with third parties and kind of how they've developed. And since this is sort of going on that new party, I think there's a lot of data to work off of, and there's a lot of precedent that we can look at. So just looking at that and looking at my experience as somebody who might not necessarily agree with some of the workings and platforms of people in the Democratic Party, and kind of just looking at solutions to that, because I think that we both will have a similar diagnosis of American problems, and specifically African American, the Afro community's problems within the duopoly that we have in America. And I guess where we disagree is the solution. Of course, me thinking that we won't be able to start our own party and it have success. But how I've been preparing, probably the same way that my opponent has, looking at articles, looking at data, looking at how we as African Americans tend to vote, looking at where and how we can maximize our power. And so that's where I've kind of been looking, and I guess we would come to different agreements, but I feel like my arguments are strong. And ultimately I will come off as the winner and just persuade people, inform people rather, that my point is more sound and rooted in data and facts, of course.
Okay, so a couple things before we get out of here, Alex. Your opponent, he's an activist. He's out in the community, has a lot of experience around these types of matters. Does that worry you at all? He's a very fiery speaker, speaks from the heart very fluently. Do you see that presenting any kind of problems for you on debate night?
I'm sure we both do a bit of activism. Maybe he might be more into the speaking part than I am, but I'm certainly not lacking in that category either. Again, I'm not sure to the exact activism that is done, and I commend him for that. Being in the community myself, trying to inform people, trying to lead people, inspire others. So I can definitely respect where that's coming from. But does that phase me in my arguments? No, sir, it does not.
All right. Okay. Good to hear. All right. So before we get out of here tonight, I just want to make sure you don't have any more questions. We'll make sure we need everybody here Thursday, April 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It will be on YouTube, Facebook Live. This is going to be a really huge debate. We're really excited to have you with us, Alex. Anything you want to say to the Great Debate League before we get out of here?
Again, thank you for having me. Thank you for this great topic. Definitely will be informative to see what we all have to say and what others think about the issue.
Okay. So last thing, I hope you all saw the poll that's out. I think we asked, should African Americans create their own political party? I think 25 people said no, 15 people said yes, and we had about 15 people who were undecided. So this debate is definitely up for grabs. It could go either way. Everyone's saying good luck to both debaters. They're looking forward to this. So we will see you all Thursday, April 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night. Peace.